Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Presenting you the demo session on SolarWinds training. MindMajix is an e-learning platform. Basically, helps individuals and also the corporate companies to increase their profit. It helps the individual who are looking to enhance their professional capability or who are trying to secure any certification to prove the skill which they have been experienced into. It has 10 plus years of experience trainers, and also it has a total of 9 plus years of e-learning industry experience. It has been involved in training of 4.5 lakh plus professional associates in order to train them to the industry standards or to achieve them to certify in their chosen course. Before giving an overall view of what is SolarWinds, what is it used for, what are the important features of it, let us go through the course curriculum. In this training, you will be having an overview of what is an Orion design and architecture, what are the polling methods involved here, what is the installation and how to upgrade this particular tool, and what are the SAM, NPM, and NCM. These are the modules of the SolarWinds. SAM is used for server and application monitoring, NPM used for network performance monitoring, and NCM used for network configuration monitoring. And also you will get how to manage the view of this SolarWinds tool and also how to configure the alerting mechanism in this particular tool and also how to manage the reporting mechanism in this particular tool. And we will also including you with the projects on live demonstration of various important topics like how to discover a network in this particular tool. Either it may be URL or it may be a node, it may be a server, it may be a service of a server to be configured. We will be showing each and everything for you such that you will be able to be well versed with the monitoring of any IT communication component at a given time. The detailed This is a detailed description of the course curriculum included with the subtopics as well. I will come back to this slide later on after having you some brief introduction about what is SolarWinds about. So today's agenda, we will be going with what is SolarWinds, IT infrastructure basics we'll be dealing with, and also necessity of IT monitoring, and how the Orion architecture is a simple Orion architecture, how it goes, and what are the polling methods used in this particular architecture. And also we'll be going with how SolarWinds provides solutions for this IT infra monitoring. So the SolarWinds is a leading provider of the powerful and affordable IT monitoring and management software. So it has more than 3 lakh customers as on December 2020, comprising public and private sectors. So now the SolarWinds is basically a IT monitoring and management software. You can make it as simple as that. So why monitoring is required? Why every client is looking for proactive monitoring of infrastructure nowadays? Why this particular thing is creating a lot of opportunities hence? See, let us have a overview of what an IT infrastructure means. Then we will understand what actually an IT infra monitoring means. So through this SolarWinds training, these are all the certifications you will be able to appear and acquire. Apart from the certification which the MindMajix will be giving you, with this training, you will be able to achieve a SolarWinds certified professional. You will be a SolarWinds certified professional in following modules in architecture and design, in the NPM network performance monitoring modules, server application module, and also configuration module by this training. So coming to what an IT infrastructure is, which is a basic thing of SolarWinds. So in our daily basis, why this IT infra monitoring has become key in place. You often hear that a particular website is not responding, a particular server has been went down, hence the website is not accessible, any net banking application is not accessible, or in that case, you will be able to hear that any ticket booking application is not accessible. So it creates huge impact from the customer end whenever there is a production delay or production being hampered in terms of IT infrastructure. So why this particular application may not be accessible? In the back end, there may be several reasons why this particular application in that case is not accessible. It may be due to that, but any application, it requires a web server or application servers. In some cases, we have different, uh, both the roles will be performed by two different servers. In some cases, both application server role and the web server role is performed by a single server. And also, we require a database to store the data. Whenever a client requests, whenever a client requests, whenever a client requests a data, whether the URL, it goes to the web server. It goes to the web server, and and the web server understands that so and so user is requesting the data, and it sends back to the client. If at all it requires any data to be stored, it stores in the database, or if at all it requires any data to be collected from the database, it collects the data from the database and it stores to the client. So all these mechanism will happen through a lot of IT infrastructure. Like in between, it includes switches, where in a organization to connect various servers and computers, we use switches. Across the organizations or to connect to the internet, we use routers. And in between, data to flow, they contains many uh, group of servers, switches, and many devices, like firewall devices and all. All these infrastructure devices have to work, have to be online, have to be working in their intended manner in order for an application to work. If at all any chain goes down, then the production of that particular application may be hampered and user may face issues. Hence, nowadays, lot of IT customers are being keen on proactive monitoring, that they want to know as soon as any production delay or any production goes down, the customer want to know priorly as soon as possible in a real time manner. The customer wants to know that so and so has issue has been occurred, such that this issue can be resolved as soon as possible by minimizing the downtime of the application and causing uh, in turn causing a less inconvenience for the customers. So now here comes SolarWinds comes the picture, providing a software which provides the real-time monitoring, of the IT infrastructure, whether it may be server, whether it may be a network devices, or it may be storage devices, whether it may be a database, to monitor the performance of these devices or to monitor the availability of these devices. SolarWinds provides the unified management and monitoring platform. Hope you got some right picture of what IT infrastructure is and why monitoring the infrastructure is plays a key role. For example, say a server contains a key metrics like key hardware components like CPU and memory. So they have to be substantial. If at all the CPU allocated to a particular server goes beyond a certain threshold, say 80, more than 80% of the CPU allocated to that particular server is being used, or more than 80% of the memory allocated to the particular server has been used, then the performance of that particular server may get hampered, in turn causing the decrease in the delay or the decrease in the production of that particular application. So there should be some mechanism, or there should be some software. Once we are able to configure that particular server in that software, the software should monitor that particular server and tell us in a real-time basis that this particular server, the utilization of this particular server CPU is being crossed 80%, or this particular CPU's memory got utilized 80%, or this particular service went down, whether this particular server is not responding at all. Then the availability of this particular server on a real-time basis has to be informed to the customer. So similarly, if at all any database performance issues got, we should be notified about the database performance issues. And similarly, if at all any routers, switches, they went down, or the ports connected to it went down, or the traffic which is being passed through them has crossed the beyond allocated bandwidth, then the packet dropping takes place. This has to be taken care. So all these issues, whether infrastructure contains or mainly servers or application, or it contains networking components, it contains storage components, it contains database components. So SolarWinds provides individual modules for each of it. For server and application, it provides a individual module called SAM, and it provides a network. For networking components, performance monitoring, it provides an NPM, like configuration monitoring management, it provides NCM, and also for database performance analyzer, DPA is there. And it can unify all these particular products. It can unify all these products into one common platform, and along with this providing common alerting, common management, common reporting of these with one unified dashboard. Everything these particular SolarWinds can do. We can include as many, say suppose as many modules as we want, or we can use only simple monitoring as we want. Say suppose I only want the SolarWinds to be used for the server monitoring, you can only install SAM module. Or you also want the SolarWinds to be used for both server monitoring, and also you want it for the network monitoring, you can install both the modules, SAM and NPM. Similarly, they are for virtual manager, for virtual ESXi host and all. For storage devices monitoring, we had SRM, storage resource monitor, and also for database, we have DPA. Like the SolarWinds provides for each and every infrastructure, the SolarWinds provides its products for IT monitoring, and also their ticketing tools, ticketing module the SolarWinds provides, and also it provides the access rights manager, like to access the who servers, who access whom to be given, and all. Like these SolarWinds provide number of modules which can be unified into a common platform, along with collaborating the common features of it being alerting dashboard, being it managing the report of the historical data, or viewing the data in the form of charts. Say suppose we want to view the data in the form of chart. The historical data we need to form in the form of chart, or we want to get a report in an Excel sheet. So all these features can be done using one common platform in the SolarWinds. Here comes the SolarWinds simple Orion architecture. So how SolarWinds does this? How SolarWinds is able to collect, monitor these particular IT infrastructure devices what I have discussed. So here comes the simple architecture of the SolarWinds Orion architecture. See Orion, or you can say SolarWinds as a company and Orion as its product. So every this particular unified platform what I have discussed so far, the SolarWinds will make this available as an Orion platform. The name of it, the server which does this all is Orion server. The simple Orion architecture is as shown below on the screen. You can see there is an Orion. You can see we got two important components here in the simple architecture. The one is the database, Orion database, and the one is Orion server and the main folder. See, in this architecture, this Orion server will pull the information from the network depth. Once we have installed the software on this particular Orion server, and we have integrated this particular Orion server with the Orion database. The Orion database is an SQL database. SolarWinds uses an SQL database, and we will be able to poll the devices, whether it may be server, depending upon what all modules we have installed on this Orion server. We will be able to poll the information of that particular server or, or the NPM. Say we can also view the information from the database, or we can also view the custom charts and all available from the alerts from the dashboard. We can get the view of the console. So here in this simple architecture, everything, whether it may be web server, whether user interface, what all the user sees, the dashboard thing or the console thing, or the second polling part, how the how the data is availability and the performance is being polled by the polled from the or the infrastructure elements. Everything is being taken care by the Orion server. So for simple cases, like say suppose we are monitoring a simple infrastructure which contains of some 100 to 200 servers and all, this works, and only one or two users at a time are being monitoring. So we will be getting an alert dashboard. So only one or two people are logging in and viewing the alerting dashboard, which pops up if at all any server goes down or any performance crosses a particular threshold. That is fine. Say suppose we want to monitor a thousand or 10,000 servers. If at all the our particular environment very huge, like 1,000 servers, more than 1,000 servers, like 10,000 servers or network elements, which contains of some 500 to 1,500 elements, and then we need to increase the architecture or increase this capacity of this particular main polling engine, or by a number of ways. The SolarWinds provide the option here for scalability. We can we, we can apply this scalability to the existing architecture without untampering this. Say suppose we got 100 nodes, we are pulling it today with a simple architecture, and we got a requirement from the customer that we need to pull 100 or we need to pull 1,000 more nodes. Without disturbing the existing environment, we can enhance it, we can scale it with the options provided. Say suppose a lot of users need to log into the SolarWinds console and to view the alerting mechanism or real performance mechanism. Then provides a feature for additional web server. We can install the additional web server on other one or two more servers, and then we can share the load of the main pooling server. Say here, this is we can see the middle part here is the Orion server, where we have installed the additional web server on this particular server, and it helps to balance the load of the increased users here. It in turn works with correlation with the Orion server. Instead of giving the all the weight of polling and also the web server role, everything to this particular Orion server, we can share the web server load by installing an additional web server, which balances the load of increased user visibility or increased user logging at a time. Say suppose 10 users need to log in at a time, then it may create performance issues in the Orient server. So it provides, say suppose 50 users has to log in at a time, and then we can install an additional web server, and which shares this particular load. And say suppose we need to monitor more than 10,000 elements, or like that. We are increasing, our environment is getting increased. So all these elements, this Orion server cannot hold this all 10,000 or 12,000 elements, it may create performance issues internally from the tool end on also the server end. So there is a limit like 12,000, 10 to 12,000 elements at a standard polling rate can be pulled. Elements include disk volumes or servers. It can be in interfaces, network interfaces. All this includes like each server can poll for 10 to 12,000 elements. Whenever we want to poll more than 12,000 elements, then what is the mechanism? See here we can see we can increase an additional polling engine. We can increase an additional polling engine in order to poll more devices, more elements we need to poll. We can more than 12,000. Each device can poll 10 to 12,000 elements. Like this, we can expand or enhance our architecture. This is a centralized deployment. So individually, now what will happen whenever we configure this particular devices, we configure it with this additional polling engine, additional devices all. And these the polling part of this particular infra will be taken care by additional polling engine, which in turn will report to Orion main poller, and the information will be stored in database. Similarly, main polling engine itself monitors or collects the performance of various other infrastructure devices which we have configured to. Whenever we are placing any particular device into SolarWinds, we will define through which polling engine that particular device has to be monitored. Here we got options of 3 polling engines in total when we monitor any particular device. In order to share this particular load of polling, we can use the additional polling engine. Here comes into picture. Say suppose if at all we have to increase the load of web server, then we need to go for additional web server. If at all we need to increase the polling capacity, like if at all we want to monitor more elements, then we need to go for the additional polling engine. This is the centralized deployment. Now, say suppose we got servers in distributed environment. Say suppose we got a wide variety of infrastructure across the world. Then it may be it may be it may be difficult, or it may be got lot of access issues and all for the particular servers to be accessible across the location. Say suppose one additional polling engine is there in India and another polling engine is there in Texas. That may not be feasible and all. So here what we will do, if at all there is a lot of sites, say suppose each a particular organization is being organized in has its branches in India, in America, or in other so and so country, then we will be installing a centralized deployment in each of these countries. Say suppose there is a particular Orion server in remote site 1, and it has an additional polling engine which polls that particular infrastructure. And also in the remote site 2, we have got another Orion server installed, and other remote site 3, we have got another Orion server installed with particular additional polling engine required on the capacity. And these 3, we will be connecting it through enterprise operation console, and this being monitored by the NOC or ITOC team. Operations team will be monitoring this particular console. So here enterprise operation console we will use to unify all the infrastructure and alerts of this which have been monitored in this particular 3 sites. Instead of using one server to to monitor all the nodes across 3 different remote sites, we will be monitoring it in a remote site basis. Each remote site basis, one Orion server is being monitored, and we will use enterprise operation console. By using a Swiss service, we will be able getting the alerting information and all the necessary information with the unified console. We will use the infrastructure availability and also the performance using one operation console. This way, the SolarWinds provided the scalability of this particular monitoring environment. If at all we want to scale, we want to share the web loading of the increased web load, we can use additional web server. In order to increase the load of the polling capacity of the infrastructure, we can use an additional polling engine. And also it provides a high availability. Say suppose any of the additional polling engine or Orion server goes down, so in order to minimize the downtime of this particular polling, we can install another high availability server, such that till the main server comes up, the high availability server can play the role of this Orion server. How to install this additional polling engine, how to install an Orion server with the what are the with all the required modules in the we will be learning, we will be teaching you what is the process to be followed, what are the requirements, what are the server standards which are required, which what are the database standards requirements which are required, and on each of them what are the hardware components like CPU and RAM and required, what are the ports happen. See, all this communication is not simple, it will be followed through some ports. Each communication from database to Orient server, it goes with some ports, so these particular ports has to be opened. So how this communication goes, what ports have to be opened, and all we will be learning in this course. See, I say that polling. Previously, we talked about polling. The Orient server will poll the information of this particular database devices. So, how this polling happens? There are different polling methods used by the SolarWinds in order to poll the information. These are some of the polling methods which I have included. One is in Internet Control Message Protocol (ICMP). One is SNMP. Other is Windows Management Instrumentation (WMN) agents. So ICMP is a simple network internet message protocol where we can get the response of the particular server by pinging it. We are actually pinging itself. The name itself indicates we will be the SolarWinds Orion server will ping this particular server which we want to monitor, and the particular server will send back the response with some acknowledgement packets. There is some protocol going on. They will be sending some 4 packets of information to that particular server, and the particular server will send back with an acknowledgement. So based on, we will be receiving the number of all the 4 packets, then we say that the connection is strong of the server and the server is responding well. We will be getting the response time. Will be, if at all in any server is being monitored through SolarWinds with the ICMP, we will be only getting the response time and the availability, whether the particular server is up or down, what is the response time of that particular server, how far the server is responding. We will be only be getting this type of devices. Say suppose we want to monitor only some where there will be some less infrastructure devices like which doesn't contain any performance monitoring. We will be using this particular protocol for that. Say suppose their load balancer IPs monitoring and all, we will be using this particular ICMP protocol. Say suppose we want the performance. What are the protocols will be involved? Say suppose we want performance of the CPU of the particular server. We want the memory of that particular server. What is the disk usage of that particular server? Then for the servers, we will be using WMI or agent. Agent, we will be, what is meant by agent is, agent will be installing the SolarWinds agent on that particular server. Directly we will be installing the SolarWinds agent from the console there or from the agent. And the communication established as the agent will help us to collect all the information from the server. The SolarWinds agent will send back to the Orion server. This communication, there will be 2 ways. Agent communication, whether the communication is initiated by the server or the communication is initiated by the agent. We can configure in both the ways depending upon our requirement. So by agent, we will be installing the SolarWinds, some piece of software we can call it. We will be installing this on the servers, and we will be able to get the information from this. This agent will collect the information, and this will be sent to the Orient server. And if at all we don't want to install any agents on the server, then they are agentless protocols like SNMP and WMI. SNMP is simple network management protocol majorly used for Unix and network devices to collect the performance and all other data involved. So every data involved in the particular network device or the Unix will be available in the form of some OIDs, which we'll be learning in our training. And using those particular OIDs, we will be able to fetch the information. And this SNMP will go for UDP port 161 and 162. This is the agentless protocol which will be used. Similarly, Windows Management Instrumentation, this is also a agentless protocol for Windows servers to get the all the information through using this WMI. Will be getting all the information like what all the services, what all the services which are running, what is the disk space, what is the um, CPU, what is the memory, and everything we will be getting from this protocol. So using this protocol, we will be configuring the those for Windows servers. So majorly for Unix and network devices, we will be using SNMP for it. And for Windows servers, we'll be using WMI, Windows Management Instrumentation. And for any server or any networking devices, only we want the response time or the availability of that particular device irrespective of the performance, then we'll be using the ICMP. And agents we'll be using for Unix and Windows servers to install the SolarWinds agent software on them, and this software will be helping. So in detail, you will be able to understand when we show in the live demonstration in the future classes. So here, this is the basic demo session we have gone, that how the SolarWind architecture will be, how the SolarWind pulls the information, and how it collects, how the scalability can be done through that, and what are the different polling methods available uh, of that SolarWinds to poll the information. And this is a certificate which you will be getting from the MindMajix once the training has been completed. This course completion certificate in this particular format will be shared to you, and we will be getting what all the projects or live we will be demonstrating here. As soon as in the course, we will be showing you demonstration of how to add a particular URL by creating merging template. Say suppose how to there is a URL called SBI like that, or we'll create some customized URL and we'll give it to you whenever that URL is not responsive, or whenever the response time of the particular URL is huge, or whenever the URL is returning any 404 error or 403 error or 503 error, then you should be able to get that. So we will be showing you how to create the specific URL component or the process component, how we'll be able to create it using the launching template of the SolarWinds, and also how to discover a network one at a time, how to add a node individually using managed nodes, or how to add all the network using subnets, or using Active Directory. Also, we can add all the nodes of a of the environment in the 2 3 steps. We can add that. We will be showing you it how to configure a particular server or node, and how to configure a particular URL monitoring or process monitoring uh, uh, of that particular thing. And also we will be showing you how to create an alert for a specific requirement. Say suppose how to create this alert. Configuring of a URL in SolarWinds to get the configuring a server URL process in the SolarWinds is one part. After configuring, SolarWinds will monitor the availability of those particular processors or servers, everything, and also the performance of them. It will be monitoring. And we need to specifically create. There will be some out-of-box alerts given by the SolarWinds itself, and rather than that, we can create a customized alerts of our own to the given requirement. Say suppose a customer says that I want this particular process if at all the CPU utilization of this particular process on the server has crossed some 60%, then the customer wants the alert. So in this case, given a specific alert condition, how to create an alert, we will be showing as a project or live demonstration, and also we'll be showing you how to create a customized reports. Often management wants what is the total infrastructure, how is the usage of the total infrastructure, say suppose how is the disk usage of all the contents, or what is the network bandwidth usage of the NPM, or compliance reports of NCM, whether if there are any config changes in each of the network elements of the infrastructure. These all compliance reports, audit reports, or the usage reports, all these how to create these particular reports we will be showing you. And this particular lab setup for this training, the prerequisites will be, if at all you have got some basic knowledge of a database, SQL here, SolarWinds uses SQL database. So basic knowledge of server and SQL, it should be fine. And system requirements, uh, we can go across here. There is a live demo section. There is a live demo of the SolarWinds tool available or online. For demonstration, we can use the online demo versions, and for to show you how the installation evaluation, the SolarWinds provides an evaluation version where we can install on Windows 10 or later laptops. We can have an evaluation version which for 30 days we can use full-fledgedly. We can use this evaluation version of the SolarWinds. So we will be showing you how to install the steps and all we will be showing there. And also it requires a stable internet connection such that there shouldn't be any delay in the demonstration or on installation part. These are the additional course resources, like as I said, that oriondemo.solarwinds.com, where you will be getting the demo version. All the tool you can see that once you go through this particular URL, you can see how the interface of the tool looks like, what are the available features and all you can view here. And also the documentation here, the SolarWinds provides what all the documentation, any issues, or what are the administrative guides, or each and every module, any issues resolved, everything you can find it in the documentation .solarwinds.com. And also thwack.solarwinds.com. Thwack is you can say that it is a community. You can say it is a all the SolarWinds admins, users through this community will share the knowledge. Say suppose they, if at all any particular doubt or any particular feature is been unexplained, or if at all any customization or any complex scripting, if anywhere is required, then thwack.solarwinds.com will provide the users can create some particular components in the SolarWinds and can share of the platform. This you can simply call it as thwack, as a technical community where the SolarWinds admins will share their knowledge with one another. So we will be helping you with the SolarWinds training mock interviews. These are the sample questions, or how to answer. What are the basic questions the corporate will look for once for the SolarWinds admin recruitment, and how to answer this particular questions effectively. We will be explaining you. We'll be demonstrating you. The major includes the custom poller, how to create a custom poller, so types of agent installations, or they will be asking the questions on what is the process of SolarWinds installation and upgrade. Protocols used specifically, they may ask about the protocol, how is the SNMP protocol used here in SolarWinds, what is the use and all. Or in a view customization, as said, like that they will be using. So we will be the major questions and all. Once once the course has been completed, we will be able to explain you this. We help you with this mock interview questions. And let me come back to you for regarding the course curriculum once again. Now we will be able to understand what are concepts. This is the Orion course curriculum which will be providing here in this course. This is the 30 hours, and plus we will be including some 5 to 10 hours of lab in each session. So as I said before, this is the total course includes the subtopics and all is included here. Now we'll be able to get some idea. So like Orient design and architecture, as I said before, in specifically we will be dealing with how to install a particular additional polling engine, how load balancing is done, centralized deployment is there, how distributed environment is there, how to do that and all. Specifically in the live demonstration we will be able to see. And polling methods, what is SNMP, what is WMI, what is ICMP agents, and how they are used to hold the information from the respective infrastructure elements, we will be able to see in this particular session. And also how to discover a particular node or network in the SolarWinds. There are different ways of managing the nodes. How to they will be each and every node. There are some predefined properties, or you can create some custom properties for each and every node, uh, in order for you to help you with the reports or alerts. You can create some custom properties for each and everything, which we how to create them, what is this we will be dealing we seeing in this course. And also the alert creation, how to create a trigger condition, how to create a reset condition for a particular alert, given alert, uh, how can you create that, we will be seeing. And also same with the report also, how to create and schedule a report. We can schedule a report instead of once we create a report, if at all it has to be every day a report has to be sent, or every weekly a report has to be sent. We can schedule that particular report on the SolarWinds. Say suppose we want a set of critical application servers, CPU usage has to be sent on a weekly basis to some recipient. So we can create those particular thing, and we can schedule the given recipients. And also sometimes in simple we require a complex conditions like SQL queries has to be kept for the alerts and also the report and for reports. So we will be dealing with, if at all any complex conditions are there, we will be seeing this. We will be showing you how to keep this complex like SQL queries in the alerting and the reporting session. Orient view management, how the SolarWinds tool, you can see you can change the interface, the color, features, and all everything. How the summary page should view, how the node interface should view, how the interfaces node network interfaces view should look. Everything you can change that, you can customize that. And also a knock view we can create, knock team which requires a monitoring of the dashboard and other features. We can create a knock view also. These all things will be seeing you. And also the installation and upgrade, as I said, how the system, what are the system requirements of each and every versions are there. The latest version is 2020.2.4. And what are the system requirements for that particular version, and also how to upgrade that. If say suppose we are in the SolarWinds will release these versions sequentially, once in a year or once in 6 months like that. So if at all we want to upgrade that particular version, how to upgrade that, we will be showing it. We'll use the config wizard to unify the website and database part of this thing. What is config wizard and all, we will be looking into it. And also we'll be dealing with, specifically we will be dealing with server and application monitor, network performance monitor, and network configuration monitor. What are the uses of this particular module? As I said before, we will use SAM for server and application monitoring. So how to monitor the particular processes, how to monitor the servers, how to monitor the event IDs will be, how to monitor. There are some app insight templates provided by the SolarWinds, how to use them. Similarly, for network performance monitoring, what is the polling settings and data retention? What is a net path? Net path means we can see from, say suppose I want to access a particular service on some server, and I from particular desktop, I can actually install an agent on that particular desktop and can see what is the path which is being followed to that particular service or the server. In between, what all firewalls are there, what all devices are there, everything you can see that. If at all, what is the delay, where the delay is actually happening, everything we can see. So how to create that particular net path, how to monitor various wireless monitoring devices are there, like access points and all, how to do that, and also universal device power will be there. So what is not present in SolarWinds, how can, if at all any feature is not being present in SolarWinds, any native polar is not present for any of the future, we can actually, by using SNMP, we can getting an OAD, we can actually create an customized polar using universal universal device polar. So we will be seeing that in this particular course. And also the configuration, we will be actually taking the backup of the configuration, network configuration every day, and we will be actually how to monitor the any changes in this particular configuration, we will be able to say in this particular course. And also any connection, what there will be connection profiles to connect to this particular to save the backup, and also device templates will explain you how to take the backup of that particular network configuration. And also we'll be running a jobs daily, actually I said, to back up the configuration, or to, in order to run any script on this particular network devices, we can actually create a NCM jobs here. So in this particular course, we will be actually dealing with all this basic uh, uh, audio architecture, and also in details of the server and network monitoring we will be actually covering here in detail view in each as per required by the corporate standards. So thank you for this demo session. Hope you like this video.